There are thousands of videos on the internet teaching you how to become wealthy by generating more money, but rarely does anyone talk about how you can stop losing money. And the best investor in the world, Warren Buffett's top 2 rules are: 1, don't lose money. Rule 2 is see rule number 1. So clearly there is something about holding on to your money. And that's exactly what we'll be chatting about in this video, as I'll be going over the 7 money mistakes you need to stop making in your 20s. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Matthew, and this is my channel where I share everything I've learned about real estate, finance, and personal development, helping you make better decisions in your real estate journey, your personal finance journey, or just overall becoming a more effective and efficient human being. So if that's of interest, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, as you're not going to want to miss out on any one of my future videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps me out. So let's hop on into it. The first money mistake you want to avoid is waiting to invest. As you see, in your 20s, your biggest advantage is that you're in your 20s and that you're able to ride out price fluctuations, but you also have this thing called compound interest on your side. And essentially what compound interest is when you invest money, you're going to make interest. But then over time, your interest is going to make interest, and then that interest is going to make interest, creating the snowball effect. So let's see why you shouldn't wait to start investing, as this snowball will only continue to grow exponentially. As if you decided to start investing at the age of 20 with $100 every month with an average annual rate of return of 8%, by the time you're 65, that's going to be roughly $504K. But let's say you decided to wait 5 years and start investing $100 a month at age 25. Well, by the time you're 60, it's only going to be roughly $340K. Now, if you decided to wait another 5 years and only start investing at age 30, it'll only be worth about $215K. As that $12,000 you invested between the ages of 20 and 30 grew to $288,000. And that is huge. So while you may not have much money right now, you have time and compound interest on your side, which could help increase the amount of money you have later down the road, so that when you are ready to retire and sit on the beach and drink pina coladas or play golf every single day, you'll be happy and thanking yourself you did it. The second biggest mistake people make is not keeping a budget or tracking their finances. As out of everybody I know in the ages of 20 to 30, about maybe 20% have a budget, and even less than that track their finances on a monthly basis. And this is one of the best things you can do if you want to become wealthy later in life, as you can now start building the habit of making conscious decisions of where you want to put your money, not only so you can better capitalize on the compound interest that your 20s have to provide, but also build that habit and make sure that you understand how money flows through your bank accounts, so that when you do start to increase your income and increase your expenses, you can handle and understand where all the money is coming and going. And now this doesn't have to be complicated. There is a bunch of great apps you could use. And one of the ones that I'd recommend is mint.com. Once you hook all those up, you'll be able to tag each purchases or income sources, allowing you to categorize all the things and then make budgets based on your expenses. And the best part about using a software like Mint is it really doesn't take much time. Once you understand how to use the software and set up taggings, Mint starts to learn which transactions are fall under what taggings, and it really starts to limit it down. Now, for myself, I maybe spent an hour a month reviewing finances and getting everything sorted in an order. Now, if you're starting from scratch and you don't really know what your budget should be, a great rule of thumb is the 50-30-20. And essentially what that states is that 50% of your income should be spent on essential expenses. So this is food, housing, utilities, car payments, etc. The 30% should be spent on non-essential expenses. So these could be any eating out, travel, or clothes that you buy. And finally, the 20% should be spent on your savings and investments. Now, if you want to be a bit more aggressive on investing, you could flip the 20 and 30 around, allowing 30% to go towards your investments. And of course, the more money you save now, the more your future self will thank you. The third most common mistake I see is people not having an emergency fund, as all too often people think, oh, nothing will ever happen to me. Well, hate to break it to you, but everybody thinks that until something does happen. And when this event does happen, you want to make sure you have money set aside to be able to cover these unexpected costs. So these costs could be because of an unexpected medical expense, a car crash, maybe a loss of a job, whatever it is. You want to make sure you have money set aside to pay for these unexpected costs so you don't have to liquidate assets that are for the long term or go into debt to finance this outcome. The recommended emergency fund is between 3 and 6 months of your monthly expenses. Now, if you don't know what your monthly expenses are, one, I would highly encourage you to go back and check your previous credit card or debit statements. But a good thing you could start with is maybe $3,000 in your emergency fund, or just try to deposit $500 or X% of your paycheck each month into your emergency fund, building up this safety net over time. The fourth money mistake you want to avoid is not setting financial goals. Now, this is slightly different than tracking and budgeting, as that's more focused on the current and past use. However, the setting goals is focused on the future. Now, of course, everyone wants to become wealthy and rich. However, that's not a very good goal, and that will decrease your chances of actually ever attaining it. Instead, you want to set SMART goals that are specific, measurable, and attainable. So an example of a SMART goal you can set for your finances is going back to our previous example about the emergency fund. And that is, maybe you want 6 months of your monthly expenses. So figure out what that number is, and then figure out how much each month you need to allocate in order to build it up to that desired amount over the long run. Not only will this allow you to stay more accountable to your goals, but you'll be able to now see and have a direction of where you're placing your money. The fifth money mistake you want to avoid is not using credit correctly. First of all, you want to make sure you're actually using credit. So if you don't have a credit card, go speak to your bank and see what credit cards you qualify for. Then, when you get that credit card, you want to start using it on a regular basis, allowing you to build up your credit score. As the more you build up your credit score, not only does that increase the chances for you getting approved for any future loans, but you're also more likely to get a better interest rate, saving you money. So the biggest thing to note is when you are using this credit card on a regular basis, you want to make sure you're paying your bills on time and in full every single month, as this is the biggest factor to determine what your credit score is. If you want to learn more about how you can increase your credit score, check out my other video where I break down the 7 steps you can do today to start improving your credit score. The link will be in the bio as well as up in one of these corners here. Just remember, when you're using your credit card, just because your credit limit is $10,000, if you don't have $10,000 in the bank, you shouldn't spend that. You should view your credit card as a debit card and only spend what you can afford. The sixth money mistake you want to avoid is by buying a new and expensive car, as cars are just a depreciating asset, especially when they're brand new. As soon as you drive a brand new car off the lot, they immediately lose value. Instead, you want to look for already used cars where someone already took the majority of the depreciation hit. And the seventh and final money mistake you want to avoid is lifestyle inflation. And essentially what lifestyle inflation is as your income increases, your expenses increase as well. And this is why people that are making over $100,000 a year are still stuck in the rat race, is because they kept up with the Joneses. When their neighbor got a brand new car, they got a car. When their neighbor got a pool, they got a pool. And as a result, their monthly expenses equal their monthly income, never allowing them to take their foot off the pedal of the rat race. If you don't want that life for you, try to keep your expenses minimal as your income increases, and then try to invest more money on assets that are going to produce you more money rather than those liabilities that are going to take money away from you. So there you have it. Those are the 7 money mistakes you need to avoid in your 20s if you want to become wealthy and escape the rat race. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on any future videos that I'll be posting here around real estate, personal finance, or personal development. Other than that, I hope you have a great and successful week, and I'll talk to you soon.